hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone doing today? This morning, this fine morning. This fine, very, very rainy morning. Very rainy. It's been very rainy in the past couple of days. And you might be like, where's the videos? Where are all the videos? Where are the videos? Why haven't you uploaded? Well, I've been very, very, very busy with work and doing a lot of night shifts and trying to fix my sleep. At the moment, it's 4:30 in the morning. I have to start work very soon, but I have plenty of time for a video now. And I thought, you know what? No point in putting it off any longer. Let's make a video. So today we're gonna look at some Blu-rays, and from now on, every single Blu-ray video I do, I'm gonna do at least 10. Probably we'll stick with 10 Blu-rays. If you're wondering, by the way, why I'm wearing the hat is because I just had a shower and my hair is going all different directions. Also, the hat helps with make the camera look a bit better because it's very dark in here and I don't have any really nice lights except that one. Anyway, 10 Blu-rays at least from now on. Otherwise, these episodes will start to run in the triple digits, and no one wants that. Well, not now, but at some point. So yes, okay. Can you tell I haven't done this in a little while? So I have 10 Blu-rays here. I'm gonna go over them. I just realized actually none of them are brand new. Only one of them is, but it's unsealed. But all of them, none of them are sealed. All of them are either second-hand. Yeah, they're all second-hand, except for just one. Just one I have here. I don't know what that sounds like. If that sounds any good. I'm not gonna do that because I will spill it everywhere. Alright. Okay. Without any further ado, let's get started. So, let's actually go with this. So I have two here. That, well, it's one film, but I actually have two Blu-rays of it. Because this is, as you can see, can you hear that? I don't know, it's like the focus is so bad. I have these two here. It's one film, but they're two separate Blu-rays because Erica and we bought this on the same day. I bought it from CEX and she bought it from eBay, and it arrived the same day. And from that point on, we were like, maybe we should tell each other when we buy something instead of just buying it and trying to surprise each other and then buying the exact same thing on the same day. And both really good quality too. Kingdom of Heaven, and this is the director's cut, which is the much better version of the film. Ridley Scott film, Orlando Bloom, Liam Neeson, etc. Jeremy Irons, Eva Green. The letters are very small in the back, but you can tell from the back. It's one of these very old Blu-rays. This is from 2006. Was it one of the very first Blu-rays, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, nice cover. All the actors. And if you haven't seen it, basically, I'll read the back. I also find it funny that they're the same Blu-ray, right? Identical. Everything, the disc, the back, the front, everything is identical. But what's different about it? I don't know if you can make that out, but the case is different. So first of all, this one has like the shiny Blu-ray, and that one doesn't. This one is a square case, and that one is a round case. Just a weird observation, because I thought, oh, they have to be different somehow, but they're the same in every way except the case, which is odd. So let me read the back to you. The description is very small. It's one of these old Blu-rays. Kingdom of Heaven. Orlando Bloom heads an all-star cast in this sweeping, action-packed tale about a young Frenchman who travels to Jerusalem during the Crusades. There he must battle overwhelming forces to defend the city, saving countless lives and fulfilling his true destiny as a knight. That's a very big undersell of the film. So basically, it's set during the Third Crusade, during the battles between Salah ad-Din and King Baldwin of Jerusalem, Baldwin IV. And the film is 189 minutes, over 3 hours long, and it deserves it. It's an epic. And let's open it up. I'm actually going to open this one. You see there? The director's cut. And it takes place during the Third Crusade. And you often see videos of it memed, or the Baldwin wave, and that kind of stuff. But it's a fantastic film. It's definitely one of my favorite Ridley Scott films. Is it my favorite? It might be my favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I think if I had them all lined up, I could make a better decision. But it's fantastic. As someone who has always loved the Crusades and loved learning about them, this is a film that, it completely blows out of the water the bloody thing, the Napoleon film he made. It's so good in comparison, and just on its own right, it's one of my favorite historical films of all time. But we never owned this on Blu-ray, and now we have to. So, if anyone wants a signed copy of Kingdom of Heaven, yeah. Kingdom of Heaven is great. It's so good. And in these videos, I'm also not gonna rush anymore. I'm just gonna take my time. I don't care if the video, is 10 minutes longer or whatever. I'm just gonna take my time. And, at the end of the day, it's about relaxing and taking the time to sit down and relax, talk about movies. Just like the album reviews, and they are coming. Plenty of them. All of Friday and all of Saturday, I'm sitting down, I have nothing to do, I'm gonna sit down. Well, I still have work, but apart from that, I have nothing to do. I'm gonna go and take the time to just sit down and record for you guys. Alright, that is Kingdom of Heaven. Heavily recommended. Oh, sorry, Kingdom of Heaven ×2. Again, if you want the signed copy. Next up, we have one of these Universal kind of comic booky slipcover films. Here we have Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale. Now, the reason I have this in the first place, because you might be like, what the hell, this film is not, film is not that good. The reason I have it is because I really enjoyed showed this off in a previous video. I really, really liked Underworld more than I thought I would. And so Erica said, why don't we get Van Helsing? It's, it has Kate Beckinsale. It's a similar movie. It came out like 2 years later. So I was like, oh yeah, why not? And then I saw this version with an admittedly very, very nice looking cover. I can't say anything about the cover. It looks great. Very nice. And although it's not new, it feels practically brand new. Sounds nice as well. Funny, easy to tap on very quickly. So, it did the same thing, which bothered me a little bit. That Wanted did as well, where I bought this limited version. Comes with the normal version of the film. A little bit annoying, but it's fine. Now I've seen it now. Did I enjoy it? It wasn't terrible. It definitely was nowhere near as good as Underworld. Nowhere near. And I think there's a reason for it. And I'm gonna level the same criticism at a movie that's coming later on as well. Because this film, specifically, and it's two separate companies I'm going to complain about, but this film, had this film been MA15 or R-rated or something like that, were they more allowed to, the fact that it's M-rated, it takes away from the experience. I think, the whole goth vampire hunter, all that stuff, that's why Underworld worked. I think if you're able to let loose a little bit, have a little bit of gore, a little bit of violence, which belongs in these characters' worlds, I think you can get a lot more out of the film. It's basically about this. Let me read it. Legendary monster hunter Van Helsing is sent by the Vatican to distant Transylvania, a land terrorized by a powerful Count Dracula, joining forces with a gypsy princess who is determined to end an injured curse on her family by defeating the infamous vampire. Van Helsing continues his quest to rid the world of evil. So, action adventure, Kate Beckinsale, Hugh Jackman, yeah. The guy who directed The Mummy, I think the one with Brendan Fraser. I mean, yeah, it would have been the one with Brendan Fraser, which is fine, but I don't know. If this had been MA15 or R-rated, I think I would have rated it a lot higher. But it was fine for what it was. Nothing spectacular, though. Nowhere near as good as Underworld. And I'm actually going to grab the movie right now that I want to complain about, because the movie that I watched, not most recently, because I watched Showgirls yesterday, the Paul Verhoeven movie from 1995, and it was actually really good. It's not good. It was a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie, but I rate movies on how fun I find them. Not like the cinematography, the writing. If I like a movie, I like a movie. That's how simple it is. And I thought Showgirls was really good, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. Also, I just love Paul Verhoeven's movies anyway. RoboCop, Black Book, Basic Instinct, all great films. So my partner said, "Hey, you know what would be fun? If we watch a movie that's exactly like Underworld and exactly like Van Helsing." And she showed me Ultraviolet. The Blood War is on. Man, this film, I'm not going to say it was bad, because it did make me laugh, but I don't think that's the intention. down here, Shock, which I have another Blu-ray from. This one wasn't new. This one was secondhand, but it's practically unwatched, right? And so, the Shock Blu-rays, from what I've noticed, is they don't have subtitles, which I really didn't. I don't like that. Add subtitles to your Blu-ray. That's, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they don't have subtitles. Whatever. Point is, it has Mila Jovovich, who's the lady from Resident Evil. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool. And then I see this. This movie, if this movie was R-rated, it would be really good. I think it would be a really fun movie, but it just ends up being flat and dry because of so much is taken from it, right? So, with this film, you have, she's basically like this lady. Okay, actually, let me just, okay, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Human society has been decimated by biological warfare research gone wrong. Okay, so basically, like they're vampires, right? But they're called hemophages. And they're vampires that can like live in the daytime, and they're basically not vampires. They're just sick. They're like, whatever. It's stupid. I mean, it's nonsensical film. Absolutely nonsensical film. But what's really sad about this film is that it was made by Sony, produced by Sony, and it's really awful. But she's actually disavowed this film because she and the director were actually shut out of the editing room because they were told that they were the ones going to be editing this. They were shut out of the editing room, and 30 plus minutes of the movie was deleted, and to get an M rating. So this movie's only like 87 minutes. So this movie would have been like over 100. Like this movie would have been like 2 hours long, and R-rated, because the movie it moves so fast and so slow at the same time. Nothing makes any sense. There's no backstory. It's, and then it just ends, and it's like, it's a shame because I did like it, but I just wish, I do like them. I like the souls that they have. They're pretty cool. But it's just like, could have been so much more. Could have been so much more. When is this from? 2006. That's what I found. You know what I found so crazy about this film? It's from 2006, but it feels like it's a film from like, I don't know, 1996, because it's so like old looking. Everything's so old looking. And one thing I will say about this movie, it's so the stylization of the movie is interesting. It's a very visually stimulating film, though. I have to admit, there's a lot of bright colors. The lighting is really, all that stuff that makes it worth watching, I think, especially because it's only an hour and a half. But yeah, screw you, Sony. Ruining films. Ridiculous. Anyway, oh god, we got 7 more to go and we're already like 20 minutes in. Okay, my hair seems to have dried up significantly now. I can take the hat off. There we go. Alright, let us go and look at the next movie. So, for the other movie by Shock, and this is the only movie that I actually got new in it was sealed. This movie, I'm annoyed that it doesn't have subtitles, right? Of course. That will always annoy me, but this film is so freaking good. I love this movie. Leaving Las Vegas. Leaving Las Vegas. Leaving Las Vegas. With Elizabeth Shue and Nick Cage by Mike Figgis. Now, this is a very basically the person who wrote the book Leaving Las Vegas, he was like a screenwriter in Hollywood, and he wasn't very successful at all. Pretty much the only thing that he wrote that was successful was this. And so 2 weeks after the book that he wrote was was optioned, he killed himself. And that's obviously, that's awful. But then they made this movie out of it. They made this movie, adaptation of the book, and Nick Cage won Best Actor for this. And in my opinion, it was deserved because his acting. I mean, Nick Cage is fantastic, but in this film, it's one of his best. I'm a prickly bear. I'm a prickly bear. It's so good. It is so good. Winner of the 1995 Best Oscar. A Best Actor. The Best Oscar. The Best Actor. Nicolas Cage and Best Actress nominee Elizabeth Shue star in an intimate portrayal of love and loss set in the seedy fringes of Las Vegas. Nominated for 4 Academy Awards. Las Vegas is a story of Ben, a burnt-out alcoholic who gets fired from his production studio and decides to go to Las Vegas on a mission to drink himself to death. In the city where the bars never close, he meets Sarah, Elizabeth Shue, a young prostitute on the run from her former pimp. These two unlikely souls form a unique bond that will profoundly change them forever. What follows is a heart-wrenching portrayal of sacrifice and unconditional love. One of my favorite Nick Cage films for sure, and a great film from the 90s, 1995. It's one of those movies you gotta see. I'm not one for quote-unquote romance films, definitely not. But this is one that I would heavily recommend because it's not so much romance as it also is. You know what's another film that reminds me of this film that I really love as well? Lost in Translation with Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray. That's another incredible film. Check that out too. Leaving Las Vegas. Just wish I had subtitles, but that's not the fault of the film. So, next up, we actually have 2 films that I'm actually going to go through those first. Yeah, why not? I'll go through them first. Alright. I have 3 films here that I used to own and I lost somehow, and I don't know where they went, right? And there's a couple other movies like 28 Days Later, This Can I Live In, Blade Runner 2049, and A Single Man, and I miss those. Those are the only ones I still have that I'm missing, as well as Forrest Gump and The Green Mile, but those 2 are very easy to obtain, whereas all the others, they're not. Right? They're definitely not. So, first off, we have Blade Runner, and this is the final cut, and this is the Blu-ray Platinum Collection edition, the Warner Brothers one. The other ones I have of this are Blood Diamond, Shawshank Redemption, The Hangover, and The Departed. That's right. So it comes with 2 discs, the movie, and disc 2, the making of Blade Runner. I really like I think it's the American cover of the Blu-ray, which is beautifully colored with all the faces of the characters. It's yellowish, reddish, purplish. Because I did have this. It was the cover with the Asian lady's face, but it was blown up, and I don't like that cover very much at all. I prefer this because it's also part of that collection, so that's nice, and this is the final cut. But I think the American version is really nice. One day maybe I'll get a hold of that. But this is nice. I mean, I don't have to explain to you what Blade Runner is, right? Like, you know what it is. So I'm just missing 2049. 28 days later. The Skin I Live In. And A Single Man, which is a Tom Ford film. Yes, he makes films, if you didn't know. He also made Nocturnal Animals, which I have as well. Jake Gyllenhaal. But yeah, Blade Runner, fantastic. I don't have to explain to you what Blade Runner is. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Go see 2049 as well. Tell me which one you prefer. Sorry, by the way, I have to keep cutting because I keep drinking and I keep burping. Sorry. Second movie that I owned before, I've previously owned, and I thought, you know what? Let's rebuy some of these because I picked this one up from CEX for a few bucks, and it's a film I really liked. I watched it in cinema when it came out. Watched it with my dad in Switzerland in cinema in 2014. Best Supporting Actor. Oh, sorry, not Best Supporting Actor. Best Adapted Screenplay. Academy Award. 8 nominations. Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Score, Best Production Design, Best Director, Best Film Editing. This is the Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley, which you might be familiar with it. It's it also has that bloody ultraviolet thing, which is completely dead now. It's basically a film where Benedict Cumberbatch plays a man named Alan Turing. It's a man who, during the war, basically built a machine that cracked the German coding machine called Enigma, and he built it, and it was pretty much the first computer, right? See, yeah, I'll read it. I'll read the back to you. During the winter of 1952, British authorities entered the house of mathematician, cryptanalyst, and war hero Alan Turing to investigate a reported burglary. They instead ended up arresting Turing himself on charges of gross indecency, an accusation that would lead to his devastating conviction for the criminal offense of homosexuality. Little did officials know they were actually incriminating the pioneer of modern-day computing. And so, yeah, basically, anyway, it's quite a good film. It's very British, which is good. I like that. I went and saw this movie because I just watched the first 2 seasons of Sherlock, and I love Sherlock, and I'd never heard of this actor before Sherlock, and so I went and saw this movie, and I really liked it. Had this movie, it went away, and now I got it again. If you're interested in kind of wartime dramas, yeah, you'll definitely like this one. Now I can't remember. Was Keira Knightley the lady who also played the female actor in The Darkest Hour with Gary Oldman? Because they look bloody similar, don't they? She might have been, which would have been pretty funny. British wartime dramas. I guess they're both kind of biopics almost. No, they are biopics, really. Anyway, enough on that. Good film. Solid. Oh gosh. Next up, we have Drag Me to Hell, which is another film I owned. This is the director's cut of the 2009 film Drag Me to Hell by Sam Raimi, who did the Evil Dead trilogy and the original Spider-Man trilogy. So good track record. This movie is pretty... It's a guilty pleasure, very much a guilty pleasure. It has like something stupid, like 45 jump scares or something. And there's a gigantic talking goat at the end. He was like possessed by a demon or something like that. I can't. It's been years since I watched it. It's bloody stupid, but it's very fun. It's a very fun movie, you know. Christine Brown is on her way to having it all. A devoted boyfriend, a hard-earned job promotion, and a bright future. But when she's forced to make a tough decision and evict an elderly woman from her house, she becomes the victim of an evil curse. Now she has 3 days to dissuade a dark spirit from stealing her soul before she's dragged to hell for eternity. It's bloody stupid. It's a stupid film, but it's very fun. And I would recommend it, especially if you're on a bit of a horror kick. This is very much a film you should check out. Okay, so the next film, I thought this was from the same year, but it's from 3 years later, but it's not too far off. So the next film, you will have definitely seen the poster for at some point. The next film is Sinister with Ethan Hawke. Now this film is one of my favorite horror films. It's one of the only, I always enjoy it when there's films that are like they involve like basically like the main character, he's like a writer, and he basically moved him and his family into the house where there's like people like kill themselves, so the whole family hung themselves from a tree outside the house, and that tree's in the backyard, and he bought the house, and then he finds this big like box of videotapes in the top of the house in the attic. He watches all of the videotapes, and all of them have a person killing people, right, or making people kill themselves or whatever in the background, or it says that once you see him, nothing can save you, because like the person you can see, like not the person, like the demon thing, you can kind of make him out in the movies, and kind of seeing the main character go through this arc of figuring it out, and it's very freaky. It's very freaky. It's unique, and it's definitely true, because I find it's a lot more unique than your average slasher flick. And what's funny about this Sinister, the title doesn't give anything away. I would definitely recommend going to see this. Definitely one of my favorite horror films. It's also almost 2 hours long, which is unusual for a horror film. They're trying to make them as short as possible. But it's actually a good film. I like the disc as well. Very nice disc. And it has the Insomnia movies there. Like, for example, another film that they made is The Descent. The Descent, if you've ever seen that. I'll talk about that another time, but Sinister, definitely one of my favorite horror films from 2012. Oh, one of my favorite horror films in general, but it's from 2012. From the producer of Paranormal Activity, a significantly worse film. Okay. We have 4 more to go. I bought all 4 of these from CX, I think on the same day. I just realized 3 of them are Paramount. So the one that isn't Paramount, I watched a couple weeks ago, like pretty much when I bought it, and it was the one of the 2 over here that I haven't seen, and I've seen it now, and that's Training Day with Ethan Hawke as well. Again, Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington, young Ethan Hawke. Denzel Washington gives a hot white performance. He definitely does. There's a wall of text on the back, which I'm not going to read. But this film, I would give it like a 7. Some people really, really love this film. Some people don't like this film. I have a friend who was talking to, and I said, "What do you think about this?" And he said, "Oh, it's boring." Which I didn't think it was boring. But my partner said, "Oh, I don't really like like it very much. I can kind of see why. I can kind of see why. I like Denzel Washington's performance. I like Ethan Hawke's performance. The movie takes place all in a single day, basically. Basically, Ethan Hawke is like a guy who's in the army. He wants to go and join the police force, but like a special drugs unit or whatever. Denzel Washington is like a veteran cop, but he's a dirty cop. I think you figure that out pretty quickly. And it all takes place in one single day. And some people say, oh, you know, the film is very like, if you have anxiety, don't watch the movie or whatever. So I was really expecting like something like the Good Time or Uncut Gems, but it wasn't. I don't think that's where the strength of the film lies. But I did like it. I thought it was fun. But it definitely isn't like, you know, it's not an all-time classic or anything. But it's still a good film. And then we have 3 Paramount films, actually. One, which I actually have seen in cinema when it came out. And you might be like, what the fuck? Why do you have this? Well, I saw it was $3, and I was like, you know what? I don't hate this film. I think it's one of those films that's very overhated. Yes, it's not good. But again, it's one of those films I can watch, I can have fun with, you know. World War Z. Again, should probably be MA15. This one, oh wow. I was actually going to show you this. This is pretty cool. So, it has the Blu-ray and the DVD, right? But it actually had the receipt of the original purchase. It's a Target receipt. That is so faded. Look at that. It is so faded. You can barely make it out. But the date is 10:47 a.m. the 24th of May, 2014. I spent $140. Can this say which Target this is? Carindale. So funny. So funny. That's just in there, but it's pretty cool. So it was bought by this person in 2010 and then sold to CEX. And then I picked it up. Yeah, with Brad Pitt. You know. Not the, actually, what's weird is it's directed by Mark Forster, which he directed Christopher Robin, you know, the Winnie the Pooh movie that I watched like the other night with Erica, which is very, very cute, very fun movie. Yeah, just a stupid action movie. World War Z is basically, he's the guy that has to save everyone. It's like a worldwide pandemic. He goes to Korea and Wales and India, or not India, sorry, Israel and where else? He starts in the United States. I mean, it's a bloody ridiculous film. And it's also, it's like basically a Pepsi commercial. There's like a scene at the end where he goes and he gets a Pepsi, an ice cold Pepsi from a Pepsi machine while being chased by zombies. It's bloody stupid. He walks up to the machine and gets the drink out of it. He's being chased by zombies, by the way. And it's slow motion. And he goes, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, so next up, on to the final 2. So this one, I don't have a lot to say because I haven't seen it. Good Will Hunting. 9 Oscar nominations, including wins for Best Supporting Actor and Best Original Screenplay. Robin Williams and Matt Damon. I mean, it's a film that, it tops, not tops, but it's many lists. Often considered a top 100 film of all time. It's one of those films that for some reason people really love, and I understand. I mean, Robin Williams is fantastic. Matt Damon is as well. It's great. I'm just trying to read the back because the letters are incredibly small. 15 years since its initial release in theaters, Good Will Hunting holds its place in cinema history as a true motion picture phenomenon and 9-time Oscar nominee, winning Oscars for Robin Williams, and then here comes Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Oh wow, it was written. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. It was written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. That's very cool. So they did win an Oscar for writing it. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely a film that I should give a watch. I haven't seen, but should be something I'll enjoy. Love me some Robin Williams. Alright, and then finally, we'll end today's video with another film we have. So, that's it for today's video. We have one last one. Collateral. With Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. This is a Michael Mann film. Michael Mann, if you don't know, he did Heat. He did Public Enemies. He did, why is it not coming to my mind right now? Miami Vice. He did bloody so many films, and it's not. But yeah, he did a ton of different action films, mostly. Pretty much that's why he's known for. Hard-hitting action thrillers. And Collateral is going to be one of my favorites that I've seen from him. Basically, Jamie Foxx is kind of a down on his luck, kind of a no good, not good, but like he has like no pep in his step, no ambition, nothing to, he's just, living day by day. He's a taxi driver. And Tom Cruise, now he's a professional hitman. And he gets in his car, he gets in his taxi, and he doesn't realize, Jamie Foxx doesn't realize that he's sending him to 5 different locations to kill his targets. He's in town on business. He's going to take him to these locations to kill these targets. But Jamie Foxx doesn't know that at the end of the night, when everything is said and done, he's gonna kill him, right? And then frame him. No, not kill him, sorry. He's gonna frame him, betray him, and then frame him for the murders. And Tom Cruise in this film is so, I just did it again. He is so good. He's a great actor anyway. But in this film, he is fantastic. Tom Cruise, Vincent, is a cool, calculating contract killer at the top of his game. Max, Jamie Foxx, is a hapless cabbie with big dreams and little to show for it. Now Max is to transport Vincent on his next job. One night, 5 stops, 5 hits, and a getaway. And after this fateful night, neither man will ever be the same again. Tonight, everything is changing. It's just one of those films, like, if you want a good, intense action thriller with some incredible performances by both actors, this don't look any further. Collateral. Fantastic film. And yes, so thank you. So we had Collateral, Good Will Hunting. What was he? Training Day. Sinister. Drag me to hell. The Intimidating imitation. I just did it again. The imitation game. Blade Runner, the final cut. Leaving Las Vegas. I like how all the cases have a different sound. Ultraviolet. That definitely sounds the best in my opinion. Van Helsing. There we go. And then Kingdom of Heaven times 2. Thank you for watching today's video. Thank you. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.